Okay, Ryan Newman has joined us. Ryan drives the number 39 Haas Automation Chevrolet for Stewart-Haas Racing. He comes in here 11th in points. He's got one victory on the season. And Ryan, talk about your mindset coming here to Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend.
Well, it's always been one of my favorite racetracks from my second start here to win the pole here in 2000. So really a fun racetrack for me. The racetrack, I think, itself is the raciest it's ever been, at least in my career, as far as being able to move around and the tire that Goodyear has here. So it's usually a lot of fun. We haven't had the performances here in the past couple of years that we are capable of, and I feel like we've made improvements this year to be able to, or at least throughout the summer, to come here and have a much better shot than we have had in the past. So look forward to it.
Okay, we'll take questions now for Ryan. Megan's got a microphone and Caitlin's got one. Raise your hand. I think Woody Kane's got it there, and then we'll come up to Mike Embry.
Well, Woody Kane with MRN. Ryan, about the upcoming fuel injection test here in Talladega, can you give us an idea from layman's terms how different that feels to you, and if it'll change the racing much at all and what you're looking for at those tests?
Honestly, I haven't driven one yet. I haven't been a part of the Charlotte test on Monday. It will be my first time in an EFI Sprint Cup car. So from what I have had communications with other drivers, Eric Almirola was testing at Phoenix, and then Scott Riggs has done some testing for Stewart-Haas Racing that, it drives very similar. It started off as a very rough system, the way everything was working. I know at the Kentucky test from what I had heard, but, from what I had heard out there in Phoenix, they had made significant improvements in the drivability. And, outside of that, I'll learn more on Monday for myself.
Go ahead, Mike.
MikeHembrySpeed.com. Ryan, we typically have 2 or 3 guys in the running for the championship at Homestead. Is it realistic to think there could be 4, 5, 6 guys left this year the way the system has changed?
That's a better question to answer after Talladega. I think, there's potential. Then there's potential that there's going to be a runaway too. So who knows? I think it's way too early to even suggest or have an opinion. It's merely just an opinion.
Let's go over here to Don, and then we'll go back to David.
Ryan, Don Coble with Morris News Service. You mentioned, tell me, after Talladega, is there anything with, no matter how many rule changes they throw at you, no matter how many, whatever they do there, is there any way to not make that race crazy?
What's your definition of crazy?
Well, everybody on top of each other and all the pushing and bumping and wrecking and...
I've been a part of that ever since I started racing at Talladega. So I don't think it's ever changed, whether we've been tandemly drafting each other or no matter what car it is, what restrictor plate it is, what tire it is. I've always seen that at Talladega, so I wouldn't expect it to be any different. I would say usual Talladega craziness. I think that there's going to be less tandem drafting than there has been because of the rules changes that NASCAR's put forward. And the second part of that depends on exactly how cool or how warm it is going to be ambient condition-wise to allow us to push as long as we can, because that is the true advantage of these two cars together.
We'll go David and then to Mike.
Yeah, Ryan, David Newton, ESPN.com. Jimmy was talking the other day about how he's had more stress this year than in past because the cars have been so much more unpredictable, like last week where he was average in practice and qualifying and got in a race and it took off. He said he's worked harder to understand the engineering and a lot of that kind of stuff to try to find more speed out of that side of it. Have you experienced any of the similar things this year?
There's times that we've hit on it, and there's times that we thought we hit on it and totally missed, and that was how we were last week at Kansas. We had a top 10 car in both practices and, fired it up for the race, and it's just like it was a totally different race car with, very small changes. So, yeah, the cars are definitely very finicky, and I didn't expect what the car was going to do at all. The first 2 runs of the race, we were worse at the start of the race than we were off the truck in practice. So, the cars are sensitive, number one, and number two, we weren't as well prepared as we should have been. It doesn't keep me up. No.
Go ahead, Mike.
Ryan, back here on your left.
Gotcha.
With this being the midpoint of the chase, and I know the chase hasn't gone the way you wanted it to so far, is there still time left for you to get through, or is that another ask me after Talladega question?
Both. There is time. I don't know how much time there is to get to first. I don't know how much time there is for us to get to fifth from 11th, but there is time. There is Talladega mixed in there. If I finished third there 2 years ago with Carl Edwards on my roof, and he never crossed the start-finish line. So, and he's a guy in the chase, so you truly never know what's going to happen there. And I don't know. I mean, I think our team, from our standpoint, our team has done a good job to get to the chase. We haven't done a good job in these last 3 of the last 4 races, in my opinion, and we have to do a better job. And that's a chance to redeem ourselves starts today.
We'll go Dustin and then Kenny.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Ryan, at what point in this chase, if you happen to be racing Tony for position, whether it's first, fifth, 21st, whatever, late in the race, that you consider giving him the position because of the value of what one position, 1 point can be?
The last lap at Homestead.
Why not sooner?
Because that's how he would race me, and that's how I would race him. I'm making that assumption on his part, but
Sure.
It's from my standpoint, there's still plenty to gain and there's still plenty to lose. So until it comes down to the very last second, let's both fully march forward.
Thank you.
Kenny Bruce, Scene Daily. Ryan, did you say that you guys, part of your problem last week was that you guys weren't as prepared as you should have been?
Well, just from our standpoint, the start of the race, we made adjustments to the race car and we're horrible first run. I mean, the 48, I think, went from 19th to 8th in the first segment, and we were from 11th to 20, whatever it was in the first segment. So yeah, we didn't fire off the way we should have to start the race, and that kind of set the tone for us. And then we had a bad pit stop, which lost us a lap and a half, which put us 2 laps down, and we had to fight back from that point on, and eventually got back on the lead lap. But in the media center, there's no rewards for who fought back the hardest.
So that was preparation as far as from what you all had done the previous
Just
2 days.
just balance of the race cars. I mean,
Not-
simple things is balance of the race car, not the things we met in the shop last week or anything like that. It was just merely the balance of the race car and the grip that we could get out of it. We turned a 30th place car into a 7th place car by the end of the race, but that's not what builds a champion.
Let's see. Who had a question? Next question. Kenny Bruce. Oh, you already asked yours. Mike Embry.
Ryan, we've had generally more fuel mileage races this year than normal, and part of the reason for that is the fact there have been fewer cautions late in races. Are you guys just that good now that the racing's hard and aggressive, but there are not as many cautions? What's going on?
The major factor of the lack of cautions is, Goodyear's done a much better job with the tires this year, and we're not having guys blowing right front tires either at the start or the middle or the end of the race. And I think at the same time, from a reliability standpoint, people's engine packages have gotten better. And I mean, it took all but the last 3 laps for the 24 to blow up, last week, and that's rare. I mean, we're seeing engine failures much fewer and far between than we ever did. So a combination between the tires being better and not blowing those out, as well as the emphasis on getting to the finish from an engine standpoint. The guys are, they've got a much better answer when it comes to mileaging out the parts.
Any other questions?
The other part of it is the bumpers still don't align the way they used to. So
Right here. Get him a mic, please.
Ryan, Brad Gilley with PRN. This is the only Saturday night race in the chase. Does night racing do anything for you? Does it add any excitement, or does it make a difference at all?
it tickles me pink. I really enjoy night racing. I always have, and it's fun to come here and be at home and race on a Saturday night. I've always enjoyed night racing from my very first quarter midget races back in the day till now, and I think that the cars look faster. You see the sparks, flying. It's not 120 degrees sitting in the grandstands, and I think everybody enjoys night racing better. I've never seen somebody that says, "Man, night racing is just worse than day racing."
All right, final question right here goes to Kenny Bruce. Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, Ryan, you've talked a little bit about Talladega. Is the rules package that they have there now, in your opinion, is that the best package that you guys have gone to that track with, or was there one previously that you were more comfortable with and would like to see them maybe get closer to?
For me, it's like with the inception of the restrictor plates. It's never going to be perfect. Just the way I like to race, the way I like racing to be, it's never going to be that kind of racing there. It's a different kind of racing. So whatever it is, I hope our team does a really good job of it, getting prepared for it, and then I can do what I need to do to be successful. If it's a different restrictor plate, a different radiator opening, a different pop-off valve setting, whatever it is, I just hope that we're the best prepared out there. So it's not my ideal day of racing, but there are the same amount of points to be had, and we'll go for them all.
Ryan, thanks for stopping by, and certainly good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.